Yeah. Girl Talk Tuesday. Tune in, talk it out. Let's go. Girl Talk Tuesday. Tune in, talk it out. Say what's on your mind and let it all come out. Good vibes only, we don't carry no doubt. Real conversations, that's what we about. Girl Talk Tuesday. Tune in, talk it out. Bring your real life, let the truth get loud. Laugh a little, heal a little, that's the route. Girl Talk Tuesday, we rollin' now. Pull up to the channel, got the ladies in the chat. Talking real situations, no filter on that. Love, life, drama, goals, we unpack that. If it's heavy on your heart, we gon' talk right back. Cup in your hand, hair done, more right. Tuesday night glow, got the whole room bright. We don't judge nobody, we just shine more light. You came in stressed, leave feeling alright. Real conversations, everybody got a story. Some came from pain, some came from glory. Some came for advice, some came just to listen. But everybody leaving with a little.
Welcome to another episode of Girl Talk Tuesday. We are so happy to be here, right, ladies? Thank you all for tuning in once again. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel if you would, please. So today, we're gonna just get right into it. We're talking about the Superwoman complex, right? So, girlies out there in social media world, have you ever just been sitting back on a couch and you come in and you're like, I'm just gonna rest. But then you sit there and you think of 50 things you could be doing, right? And so you kind of feel guilty for just sitting down resting, but you need it, but things need to be done. That's what we're talking about today. Are we gonna retire the cape? What we're gonna do? So before we start our topic, we're gonna do a little game. Nima is gonna explain how the game goes.
Okay, so this game is called Put a Finger Down, Superwoman Edition. Everyone please hold up 10 fingers. I'm going to read each question. Whoever has the fewest fingers left at the end is officially crowned the episode's Rehab Superwoman.
All right.
First one. Put a finger down if you ever carry all 18 grocery bags on one arm, just so you don't have to make a second trip. Okay? Put a finger down if you ever said, no, I got it, it's fine, while visibly struggling or about to drop everything. Okay? Put a finger down if you clean up the house before guests or service workers come over because they can't see how we actually live. Put a finger down if you answer an email, text, or work message while sitting in the shower tub or on the toilet. Okay. Put a finger down if your idea of relaxing involves making a brand new to-do list for tomorrow. Okay. Thanks, Serena. Put a finger down if someone asked you what's for dinner and it almost brought you to actual tears.
It's okay.
If you have redone a chore, like loading the dishwasher or folding towels right after someone else did it because they did it wrong. Put a finger down if you ever hid it in your car or bathroom for 10 extra minutes just for quiet.
All the time.
Put a finger down.
Okay.
Put a finger down if you agreed to plans, immediately regretted it, and secretly prayed the other person would cancel.
Yes.
Okay, last one. Put a finger down if you ever felt guilty for sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing for more than 20 minutes. Okay, well, Serena and
They both done.
they love.
I am the rehab queen here.
No, you're not.
I have most
That's
up.
whoever has the fewest fingers left wins.
No, the ones who would.
No, whoever has any wins. So that means no.
I've done less.
Shati is.
It's the one who has the most
Mama,
win.
Doesn't make you a rehab queen.
I am because I.
Oh.
Anyways, No, we can go ahead. But anyways, you get the gist of the game. Okay. Okay. So yeah, y'all need help.
We do need rehab. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. So I wrote a couple of notes, and it says why we think we have to do it all, and why is it slowly running us to the ground. Now, there's a couple of things that are called traps. That's the I'm fine, you know, all of us have said it. I'm fine. When someone asks you, how are you doing? I'm fine, I'm good. When you know you're not, and you know you're running on like 3 cups of coffee, and you gotta get things done, I'm fine trap. Or you may be the one that's the high achiever trap. That's when we're told we could have it all, thriving career, side hustle, glowing skin, perfect home, but no one told us what it costs to actually have it all, right? So we kind of diving in that. So I got some questions, because you know I got some questions for y'all. You know I do. Okay, the very first one, when did you first realize you had a hard time letting the people handle things for you, and why? Who want to go first? Don't all go at the same time. Who going first?
Is it on? Mic check 1, 2. Okay. Now. My age now, in my 30s. I just feel like I could do it on my own. I don't need nobody else. But I mean, I always been that independent person.
Yeah.
So
like a little strong. Yeah. She has been always.
I always been independent. So I mean, I don't need that much help with anything.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay.
Sometimes.
I'm bringing it into like house stuff and work task. I think it's twofold for me. When I can see something happening and I'm like, okay, you got to trust the people around you to be in collaboration with stuff around the house or at work, and then it's nowhere near to the capacity of what you feel like it can be. So you kind of indirectly start minimizing their part and maximizing your own, because we believe we just know it better. And so the bad message that was sending was, don't worry about doing it because you can't do it good enough. And I didn't want to send that message to my family, especially since I needed them to help more. But that was the reality every time I went over them and redid something that I've asked to do. When it comes to work, it was me releasing control over, I really need to get this done, and I am not good at allowing someone else to hinder my work task. So I end up just taking everything off of everybody's plate and not realizing how full mine is. So then it's burnout without you realizing that it's burnout. But when you really convince yourself that nobody can do a job as good as you, it's this self-elevation that is just very unhealthy. And then after a while, you end up on an island because people are going to let you do it alone all the time. And then you get mad and resent them for not helping you, but you're criticizing their help. So the fact that I was able to pull away, and I don't think I do that a lot, but I had someone really close to me that did it, and it started, I was like, oh, you're just horrible. And then I started realizing that God was showing me her because it was me too. And I had an attitude with God and her. So I was just like, oh, I said, okay. So it entered into a self-awareness that was very important, that I needed the help, but I wasn't allowing the help to help me.
Yeah, I got that.
I think for me, when I realize it now, but I can definitely say that it started, I believe, in childhood, because in my family, my grandmother, she was what you call like the matriarch, like she was Miss I can do it all. And so I watched her, be the jack of all trades, and I watched how she was able to manage, finances, a household. She cooked dinner every night. Like, she did all of these things, and she did it with such grace, And so if that was the person that I was idolizing and wanting to be like, and I looked up to her so much. So I think without her even knowing, she was kind of subconsciously training me to almost be that way.
Yeah.
You know, even though she never said like be that. But so as I then ventured into adulthood, and then I got into a long-term relationship and had kids, you know, immediately I thought back like, oh, this is what it should look like. But kind of like what you said, I started minimizing those around me for help, and I started burning myself out, and I realized that. And so especially like when I had my first child, like I thought I was literally could do everything on my own, and I really didn't call on much help. But this time around, when I had my second child, I said, oh no, everyone help me. Help
You did.
me.
You did. That is
And I
very
had no
true.
shame, like, you know, and it's a completely different mindset, but I had to recognize that, and I had to fall, and I had to burn out for me to see that. And that was a hard fall. Like, burnout is real, and it happens.
It is very real. I think one of the things that I noticed early on is at work is one of the things I hate the most about my boss. My boss will ask people to do everything, but he will go right behind them and redo it. And I hate it so much. I'm like, why are you asking people to do something if you're gonna go behind them and fix it? Why don't you just do it yourself? And for me, I feel like I'm that way when it came, like before everybody came. It's like for Milton, I was like, you do the cooking and I do the cleaning, because I know how I want it, right? And so I'm like, I'll get it, I'll do it. It'll be like, and I won't have to argue with him and fuss about something that I'm asking him to do and criticizing how he does it. Like, girl, what's wrong with you? So I realized that in me once I started seeing my boss do it. I said, oh, that's you. You do that. That's not a good thing to do. So you might need to kind of change that up a little bit and let people do it. They may not do it the way that you do it, but they do it the best that they can do it. And I mean, who says that my way is right? Nobody. I mean, they doing it the way that they think they can do it. So that's one of the things I think I had to learn. So why is saying no to someone else is so much harder than saying no to your own peace of mind?
Can you repeat the question?
I sure can. Why is saying no to someone else so much harder than saying no to your own peace of mind? You know, we quick to say no to other people, but when it comes to us, we don't give ourselves grace at all. We're like, I gotta do this. Like, if somebody asking you to do something and you know you want to say no, but you don't, because you're Superwoman and you're going to do it all, because you don't give no to your own peace of mind. Like, you're not giving yourself grace or anything, but you like everybody else, you know.
Yeah, I struggle with that, definitely. I struggle with saying no to anything that I know I can do. Like, I don't say. If I say no, it's literally because the answer is no, because I can't. But I am very, there'll be either a level of regret, or I'm overwhelmed, or now I just added something else to the calendar, and it's like, okay, now you got to figure this out. But I took it as, or I take it as, ministry is like all around us no matter what we do. We like to put that in a box, but the reality is it's in our interactions, it's in our ability to be there for people, it's in our ability to assist and help. But when you trick yourself into thinking that means you got to say yes to everything because you're demonstrating either the love of Christ or you're being a good person, and then when you need a person and their no is so quick, it's kind of like, instead of being frustrated, it started to be admirable to me. I'm like, that no just rolled off your mouth, and there was no hesitation, there was no thinking. And you asked me to do something the other day, and I did not want to do it. But the reality of me saying no just because I felt like saying no felt wrong.
Yeah.
It felt selfish. It felt inhumane. It's like I go so far in my mind.
Why is that, you think?
Because I can. It's like if I can do it and I say no, I feel like I'm being selfish. And the reality is, it's self-preservation, and I know that's what it is, and I don't see it that way. Like, all of the things I've said yes to that took me away from, it was one time I said yes to somebody right after I made plans with Brian, and then realized like my yes just wiped our plans away. Yeah. And he was like, I'm gonna just see if that's gonna soak in at any moment. And I was like, no. It just went like right over my head. And so that, I'm gonna be honest, I still don't have the answer to that, because it's now starting. I need to preserve self, because at this point now I have a really big task ahead of me so now I have something that I have to start saying no to for others, because I'm in this principalship right now, and it literally consumes study time. It consumes all of these things, and then my actual job title goes way beyond me leaving that school. Like, the stuff I have to do for work starts when I leave. Like, when I'm there, I have to tend to teachers, I got to tend to kids. But then when I go home, now I have to actually do my dean duties, like the agendas I was supposed to create, the coaching logs I was supposed to do, the stuff that I'm supposed to do from 8:40 to 4:40. It never gets handled until after. So knowing that I have to literally create a balance for myself, when I have the people who are used to calling on me to support them with stuff, can I say no? And I had to ask myself that recently, because I had 2 situations where I'm like, if I say yes to this, I can't study. If I say no to this, I'm gonna be thinking about it while I'm studying.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna piggyback.
So I don't know.
So that's very relatable, and for me, I felt like in my career, because I understand that, especially in the world of education, is the lines become real blurred, you know. And for me personally, when COVID happened, and we kind of watched what the world did, and I realized then, I said, life is too short, right? And that's when I can't, not in all aspects of my life, but just for job related, I started saying no, and I put a cutoff, and I had to, because what I realized what was happening is that all my work became blurred into my home life and my family life, and so my family, they started getting this much of me, and work was getting that much, and that's not fair to them, especially during that time I had a small child. Well, she was with a toddler or baby at that time, and so I just kind of created this standing rule, and I tell my parents every single school year when it starts, I say, listen, I said, I have to have a cutoff, and I said, I value family time, and I said, it's not me being mean, it's not me being rude, but you need to understand that at the end of the day, I have a family, I'm a mom, I have to have that, I will always get back to you, I will answer your emails, your texts, I will do all of those things, but it's only gonna be between these hours, and I give them a little grace into the evening time, but it will be a cutoff. So I said, don't think I'm ignoring you, but just respect that boundary. And surprisingly, it was okay, and I survived, and they survived, and we are okay, and it started feeling good. And so, like, even this year, as I started my new school, and we just had open house, and I told the parents at open house, I said, hey, I am big with communicating, and I'm this and this and I'm that. I said, however, and I kind of gave them that spiel, and it's amazing how understanding people can be. But I understand what you're saying, because I used to do that, where I felt like I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Start saying no. I'm telling you, it'll start rolling off real nicely.
What's I'm very easy to say no at work. I do that very well, but this is the thing. What I realized when we closed down in 2015, 2016 or something, and they said, well, we're not going to shut the building down. Everybody is still going to have their job while actually printing out papers to send to us, right? And so we're like, okay, we're gonna still have our jobs and all this. And that Friday we got a FedEx. Everybody's last day was that day. And except for the managers, we had to stay and clean up the building if we wanted to get paid. That taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. Yeah. It taught me that I cannot give my 100% to a company. I can give it to my business. But I cannot give you 100%, because at the end of the day, I'm just another number. Yeah. I'm just another number, and I will be gone tomorrow, and they will replace me, and they will keep going. So I am so good at saying no at work. Like, no, I try to balance my time with when I have to do something for the family or whatever, to kind of just trying to balance a little bit. But it's funny that we're talking about this, because I was just talking to her about this morning. We was talking about a situation, and I said, that's going to be a no, Rayshundy. And she said, what? I said, but you're the one who told me to say no. She was like, what? I was like, you remember when you had the conversation, you was like, Mom, sometimes you just have to tell us no. Sometimes you just have to tell us no. And I said, you remember that? And she said, And it's so true because I feel like I always have to do it and, let me help when I can or whatever. But sometimes you just have to say no just so that you can have just like a peace of mind. Like, what in the world? So I get it and I get your situation as well. But I think you're very like, you will put some stuff on your calendar and you will book it solid. And then I'm like, what in the world? How do you need, we need to double you or something. I don't understand.
I booked the meeting right before this.
You did.
I did, like on the way here. So I'm delegating. So I need to get some brown funds for that. I'm one of the leaders at my church and we're now pushing small groups. And that leader was like, well, hey, do you have 30 minutes to meet with me so we can go over the training tomorrow? It was like 5:02. I was like, yeah, I got exactly 30 minutes, like right now, knowing that I rush back home just so I can relax before this.
Oh,
so it's
my
just
goodness.
like, yeah, it's bad.
Okay, so the next question is, have you ever been resentful of someone that didn't help you and you never asked them for the help?
Yes. Yes.
Yes?
Wait, that you didn't ask?
You didn't ask, but you're resentful because you're doing stuff and they looking at you and they're not helping. Now you're mad, but you never asked them
Yes.
to help you.
Yes. The
I am so guilty of
the
that.
father of my child. Your son.
Oh my God.
No, but this is why I kind of said like I did that with my first with Sage Ruby, and I mean I was terrible about it, but then that was that superwoman complex. So, but like I would be really mad at him, but he had no he don't even know why he's mad. And I remember we used to really like get into it about it, whatever. And he's just like he's so confused, like he doesn't, he doesn't understand. But that really taught me, something you got to break down to build back up. But that taught me like, hey, like first of all, he's not a mind. They're not mind readers,
right?
And you have, learning to ask for help, and that was something hard for me. Like just having to ask for help, that's hard. Like I don't like to ask people for help. Like I could do everything on my own. I'm an independent woman, but like you can't be an independent woman in a relationship. That doesn't work.
No, it's not solo. It's not solo in the relationship.
Yeah, so I really like, I would say at a certain point, especially with Sage Ruby, I started really like just dependent and I wouldn't even really need the help. I would just be like, oh, help me with that, because I had to. It was like a practice, but then that practice became like matter of fact.
And now I hear him ask you, do you need any help before I go downstairs? And I was like, oh, that's super cool, But like that's cool.
Because we had to have some really big conversations. But he used to say like, hey, I don't know, like unless you ask me.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I'm like, how do you just not see it? But but you can't assume that people know you need help until you.
I used to be really bad at it, and I'm like cleaning up, and then you know how you just throw something extra down, extra hard. Like I know you see me cleaning this thing up, and you're not moving or whatever. You like certain things like that. But now I'm so good at letting him that I'm really good. I'm so good at just. I do. Like, go ahead, do it. It's fine. It's good. Because I used to say, I can do it myself. He's like, you don't want me to help you? And I'm like, I can do it. I got it. Okay. So now I'm just, okay, that's fine. Now, I do see it in you, though, because you do not want help with anything. I was telling her the other day, this is so you, because I can do my own, I can take my own car to the or I can do this, I can do that. And I'm like, girl.
Why do you have a man?
Why you have to do that? But she will do it. And it's crazy that even when she had Nima, she cried because she couldn't do something. She's like, well, I want to buy my own baby stuff. And I'm like, girl, you need to relax and let somebody bless you a little bit.
Because that whole period, I ain't had no job. I ain't have nothing. And I wanted to do something for my child for at least one time. But it was like, I ain't got nothing. So I do have to lean on somebody to, help me out. But when I got something, I had it, girl. I had you. But yeah, I'm learning to lean on my significant other.
Yeah. A little bit more.
Because I have always been like, I can do it. I don't,
Yeah.
you can go, but I'm still, like, even with, like, pumping the gas, it was so hard, but I stayed in the car. And he got out. It felt a little weird because I was so used to doing it on my own.
That is so crazy.
Washing the car, oil change. I still do it every now and then. But I'm learning.
Okay.
Good job, y'all.
So the
Help us learn that.
yeah, so the last question is, I know I'm guilty of this, but I want to throw this at you guys. When was the last time you said, I got it, when you absolutely knew you did not?
Recently.
You didn't have it, but you said you had it.
Speak your truth.
I didn't have it, but I what?
You said that you got it, but you really didn't have
Right.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Get your mic.
When was it, Rayshandi?
It was very recent. I didn't want to tell my parents I was struggling financially. I don't never want to tell them nothing because I feel like, okay, well, this about to come up, I can do this. This about to come, I can do this. I'm putting it back, but I was struggling, and I would never come and ask my parents for help ever. But I got really low, and it was to the point where I was getting depressed, stressed out, irritated, frustrated, all that.
Yeah.
And I just had to reach out to my mom and pops and be like, hey, I'm not doing so good. And in the midst of me, it was through a message, but in the midst of, because I can
Articulate.
articulate more and bring my feelings out more when I'm writing. That's all. That's just been natural to me. But in the midst of me sending that message, I was emotional. It was all coming on to me because I didn't want to ask them, but I knew I had to ask them. So that was very recent. And I'm truly grateful because my mom, she came up with their brilliant strategy in helping me. My sister Rena, she chimed in as well. Pops chimed in as well. So I'm truly grateful for the strategies that y'all brought to me, budgeting and how to balance.
Yeah.
Yes, it really
Yeah.
do.
Overall answer.
No?
Yes.
I absolutely had that. The I got it. That we're talking about I got it, but knowing you don't have it. Right? And it's very humbling because God had to remind everything always go back to God because I'm trying not to listen to humans too much lately in this era in my life because of how misleading it could be. But I was reminded gently that I was not called to do anything on an island, right? That God called us to be in community with each other, that fellowship was a part of that purpose. Like, we have a village for a reason. And if you continuously feel like there's something wrong with asking for help, you're missing the mark. Like, you're missing the whole point. And unfortunately, when you really do believe you're holding it all together and you actually got to ask for help, and that's what the superwoman complex that we're talking about, now you have to admit that something's wrong. Now you have to admit that you can't hold this, and that was hard to come to grips with. And then sometimes we don't want people in our business, or we don't want to have to explain anything, or we don't want to have to talk through. So to avoid all those conversations that you don't want to have, you just suffer in silence. And when it gets to the point where God humbles you enough to the point where no, you need to tap in, because you need to first ask yourself, why are you not even embracing the help? Why do you think something is wrong with it? So I've really learned that God He put me through a certain thing very specifically because of my pride that I had no idea I was operating in. And He said, since I need to strip you from this, and the only way I'm gonna do that is to bring you down to your knees, to humble you in it. And that was a hard pill because I feel like I can do it all, God equipped me to do it all. So I started using him as the reason why I can do it all, because he's equipped me to do it. And he's like, no, I called you to do this. I did not call you to do it alone.
Right.
And so that was really humbling for me. And the fact of how easier it was, because, you know, the burden was lighter.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's like, this is all my word. Like, why do you think you were called to put all of this on your shoulder? And it's prideful. And I had no idea that being that way was me operating in pride. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I have a very specific story situation. So I just started at a new school, and upon going to this new school, I realized that the educator that was in the classroom before me left everything. And it wasn't really just them. I think it was about 4 educators of worth stuff, but it just kind of accumulated, correct. And so I go in there, and now it's a mission where I now have to, you know, pretty much clean out everything and do all of that. And, you know, it's a very limited amount of time that we have from setting up the classroom and then doing, you know, lots of meetings and all of that. You know, with all that being said, the superwoman in me, I'm trying to, you know, get it all done. After about a day and a half of me feeling like I'm getting nowhere, I went into my school. But this is part of the superwoman of I can do it all, but this is also the good part of me, of the growth in me, because I went to my principal and I said very direct. I said, listen, I said I'm about to lose my mind. And she's like, what is going on? And I said, and you know, I explained to her what was going on. And it's so amazing. And I told her that I said, I need help. And I just said it just like that. And it was so amazing how immediately those words poured out of my mouth. The assistant principal, she said, what? I got you. And then all of a sudden, it was like the entire village of the school just poured in. The janitors, the assistant principal, and her big son. Oh, bless him. And you know, she brought him in, and everybody came in. And before I knew it, within 45 minutes, something that would have took me 2-3 days by myself, they came in, we tackled it all.
That's so awesome.
And it was just like, you know, so it again started off with that superwoman, but you know, because of my growth that I've been trying to make, because I let those words come out of my mouth, I need help. I mean, literally before they barely got out, when I just said the help like came, you know. And so that's one of those things that it taught me, like, hey, ask for help. Like, you can't do it all. And I'm so glad that I did.
I think for me is I don't know, sometimes I feel like I can't ask for help, because I feel like everybody is going through their own thing. How can I ask them for help? So I feel like a lot of my things, I kind of like suffer in silence a lot and not ask for help, and feel like I can just do it on my own until I just break down. And then I'm like to Milton, like, and you know, he was like, well, why you didn't just say something? I'm like, I don't know. I just felt like everybody was going through their own storm. And I think that's a lot of time we think that people are going through their own thing and they can't give your things attention. And I feel like God has just been so good to me, because he allows me to, like, I think he knew that I was going to be that person people come to. And he just I don't have a bad life. I don't stress. I try not to anyways. I have a job that I don't have to stress about, and it's kind of peaceful, and I kind of can do what I need to do and go like I need to. So I think that was intentional. I think I was put in place to help people. That's who I am. But sometimes when you pour so much, you just want a little in return, just a little bit, just a you know, a mouthful or something.
You need somebody to fill your cup too.
Yeah, just a little bit. And so I need to start asking a little more for, you know, some help, but I'm pretty bad with doing that. It's not good to say, but I'm not good at it at all.
I'll teach you some of my techniques.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, okay, we're gonna conclude this, but so last one, really, really quickly, what have you learned about yourself, and what is one thing that you can commit to today that you're gonna let go of and try to ask for help or something? You got the mic, so.
I think just kind of what I said, just literally just ask for help. Just verbalizing those words, you know, even though I'm starting to do it now, so
Yeah.
I'm midway through the process. But you know, even that example that I just said, it says
Yeah.
like I shouldn't even let it got to that point. I should have day one,
Yeah.
you know, popped off and said, hey, wait
I
a
need some
minute,
help. Yeah.
you know, and that would have even avoided some
Yeah.
of that like turmoil that I was feeling, because
Yeah.
I was stressed, like coming home, I was complaining, and I was like, you know, Milton heard me. I was telling him about it. He knew the whole situation, you know,
Yeah.
and he also knows when I came and I said,
Yeah.
they helped me,
Yeah.
you know, and so it's like, but I don't want it to get to that point. So that's in everyday life,
Yeah.
you know, don't let myself get to that point. Like immediately when I recognize that I can't do it,
Just ask
put the
for
words
help.
out there,
Yeah.
because 9 times out of 10, I have such a village around me that they will help.
Yeah,
you know, so.
absolutely.
I can't snap, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's my deficit. I'm trying to figure out which finger to use. Definitely what I'm learning, and I can even say I've God reminded me of and learned more even now, is when it says, you know, your cup runneth over, our cup needs to be full, and people get what is, because a part of this superhero or superwoman complex is we are constantly pouring out and not pouring in enough. And so I'm trying to learn that self-care is absolutely important, right? And so being there for everybody, doing everything, having the day of the yes all the time, it's putting me into a point where there's a lot of mental instability because I'm pouring out from an empty vessel. And so that whole cup being full, it's the running over that goes to everyone else, not what's inside. That is for me. That is for me to be sustained for my sanity, for my family, for my children. And even them, they can be the ones that will pull the most. But just understanding my boundaries. And
Yes.
first of all, I never even had any. That was part of the problem.
Yeah.
It was an all for all. It was an open book. So having real boundaries to protect my own peace.
Yeah.
And to protect my responsibilities, because if I'm constantly helping everyone else check off their list, I will start to create a level of, I don't even want to say anxiety, I don't claim anxiety at all, but I will start to stress over what I have not had time to do for myself.
Yes.
And now I'm resenting the people around me, now I'm angry with my family because
Yes.
I've allowed them to pour out of me. And so to answer the second part, the only way to do that is to be clear. Like clarity
Yeah.
is kind.
Yeah.
He's not a mind reader. She's, even though I've had to tell her over and over to do this, the reality is I'm the parent. I'm probably gonna have to keep telling her until she's out of my house. Then I have to call her house and remind her to do it again. This is just our role. So
Yeah.
the reality is to be more clear in communication and
Yeah.
respect the fact, like one of us said earlier, they're not a mind reader.
Yeah.
We expect people to naturally just look at us and think we need help without saying it because we would do it. We would see them doing something and we would fly to help. But the reality is it's individual. Everybody has their own individual perspective, and it's unfair to hold them to yours.
Yeah.
So being very clear and being kind, knowing that the clearer I communicate, I'm actually being kind to you by
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
That is something I can be very much more intentional about, instead of resenting you for something I've never even told you I needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to go. Well, I learned that it's okay to not have it all together.
Yeah.
Communication is key, and if I need it, I need to ask for help, even though it'll make me feel some type of way.
That type of way is gonna relieve you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I'll close out with, it's funny, when I was walking over here, I had all the stuff because Milton had to go back and get something. And there was a guy running this way and a lady coming this way, and I dropped something, right? And I'm like, oh, my hands are full. And then the guy kept going. Look, but he kept going. But the woman stopped. She said, you need my help? And I got all this stuff in my hand, and I'm like, no, I got it. And she stood there and waited till I picked it up to make sure she didn't have to help. But I think that as women, we're nurturers. That's what we do, and it's just part of who we are. But for me, I just need to learn how to just, like, ask for help when I need it, and just take care of myself a little bit more, with having a peace of mind. And sometimes I'm just not available for everybody all the time, and that's okay. It's okay. So that is going to conclude our Our Girl Talk Tuesday, that is going to conclude our talk for the day. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you like this video, please consider liking, comment, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. We would greatly appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Girl Talk Tuesday. Tune in, talk it out. Let's go. Girl Talk Tuesday. Tune in, talk it out. Say what's on your mind, let it all come out. Good vibes only, we don't carry no doubt. Real conversations, that's what we about.